Hey guys, Cassie, previously known as Zoe here. Welcome back to another total different video. Today, oh my god, wow, I'm doing this like the day after my last one. That's surprising. But I'm doing what if Logan, I'm doing Disventure Camp what if. I've never done that before. I'm doing what if Logan didn't leak the vote to Jade in episode 19, and I think it's really interesting to think about because it did result in a great elimination, but it definitely did like make Marissa kind of a character that didn't get to do much, unfortunately, with the return, which is kind of sad. So I'm kind of interested to see what would happen. So obviously this is like the elimination order now after Amelie and Marissa rejoined, so it's interesting to see. And I think that this would result in... Okay, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. Sorry, I'm like really mumbling, but I think that it's easy to assume that, well, when I told some people friends was doing this what if, they were like, oh, but Isabel said I knew it in the scene, so she would have probably still done it. But I think that personally she was just saying that out of anger is what I think personally. So I personally think that, like, sorry, I'm deleting the rows. Oh man, I'm so unorganized. I personally think that it would result in everyone that would just vote Isabel, and Isabel would be eliminated, unfortunately, at 8th place. And this final 7 would carry on, because the episode wouldn't really change until Logan just decides not to lead the vote. And that would honestly keep Jade and Logan from ever working together, which is interesting. And then the next episode is obviously the trivia one, and it's really interesting. But I debated a lot about this. I really don't think that Marissa being here now instead of Isabel would change. Like, Isabel was the first one out, and I think Marissa could perform a bit better in the challenge, because like Jade wouldn't be like sabotaging her. But I don't think she would change that Jade would still win. And the agreement that everyone had, like Anastasia and Marissa, the agreement that everyone had final 6, this would be the worthy final 6, and they'd eliminate Jade and Isabel, which previously went down in episode 19, would previously fall flat in episode 20 now instead, because Jade is immune. And then here's what I think would happen. Anastasia and Hannah and Amelie are obviously make up from their fight past episode, and this one is really wholesome. Love you guys. And I think that Hannah would be more likely to listen to Amelie, where they were like convinced that last episode they were like, okay, we need to, Hannah was like dedicated to sticking with Anastasia and Marissa and being loyal. Amelie wasn't, but I think Amelie now could talk sometimes to Hannah and be like, they are a power duo, we need to axe one of them. And Logan and Jade would definitely agree with that, and I think that either Marissa or Anastasia is going now, and I think what would happen because obviously then Jade wouldn't be sabotaged by Logan since he never leaked the vote to have to lie about it. So it's between these two, and I think though ever since Marissa returned, like Marissa was even seen as like it wasn't even like, it was just like a cruel thing from Isabel. Like she wanted Anastasia gone more, but it was just like cruelty kind of thing. So because most people have like been wanting Anastasia gone over Marissa ever since Marissa came back. So Anastasia's had more blood in their hands. So I think because of that, they'd all vote for Anastasia over Marissa, and Anastasia would get 7th place. And now the final 6 was a duo challenge, so we're just gonna do it so the teams that originally were happening, Anastasia and Isabel were on the team previously. So what would happen, I think, is that since Jade and Marissa are replacing them, they'd be on a team, which I think is good because they both didn't get much to do. Admittedly, even though I love Marissa so much. So them getting the team together and like have a conversation is like a really interesting turn of events. And then we'd obviously have Hannah and Jade and Logan and Anastasia, and originally Isabel and Anastasia won, and I honestly think Marissa and Jade would honestly be able to pull it off and win. So Hannah and Jade would not win like they almost did, and I think these two would just win where Isabel and Anastasia did. And so the vote, I think Jade would obviously be a target like originally planned, but I think Marissa I don't think she's as bitter of a person as Anastasia, but she's also not, she's shown more emotion than Anastasia, like, in the sense of, like, when she was, like, Anastasia's probably more willing to be strategic for the sake of the game and work with people she doesn't like. So Marissa is immune, so they can't vote her out, but, like, she's not gonna be willing to work with these people because they voted her out. So they're unable to pull her and vote Jade like originally planned. So I think Jade would take advantage of this and be like, I knew you guys wanted to vote me. However, I'm not a threat. Look at this pair of swing votes, Hannah and Amelie. And then Marissa would be like, they did contribute to the Anastasia boot. And Zayd obviously doesn't like Hannah that much. And Logan, I think, and Logan doesn't have any reason to dislike Amelie, but it makes sense. And then in the vote, it's either Hannah or Amelie gets eliminated. Amelie takes the same elimination she did in canon, and we're at the final 5, and Amelie and Hannah say goodbye, but this time Amelie doesn't have tea to leak for Hannah to leak on Logan, so that doesn't happen during the challenge. And the next challenge is it's the D&D challenge, so Hannah, Logan, and Jade can play the same roles since they were the last 3. Marissa takes Isabel's spot and plays the healer, and Zayd takes Anastasia's, and Zayd takes Anastasia's and plays whatever, I don't remember what her role was called, but basically Marissa would be a healer during the challenge. I don't think she'd be as eager to open the gift as I don't think she'd be as eager to open the prize as Anastasia was. Or no, Isabel was, so she wouldn't do it. And it all survived to the dragon, in which Jade does get out in canon, so Jade would be the first loser. And I think, for the sake of this, I think Marissa, being the healer, would like try to heal Jade to continue the challenge and also lose. So she'd lose, and that part, and everyone else would get to the final part of the challenge. And I think that what would happen is Hannah and Zayd would start fighting each other in the challenge because Zayd doesn't like Hannah too much because of her. Oops, sorry, I put something. Zayd doesn't like Hannah too much because of her being the reason behind Ivy going home. So Zayd and Hannah would fight because Zayd's like, Hannah, you're not getting immunity, I won't allow it. And that would give Logan the chance to sneak in and get the immunity like in canon, so same immunity as canon. And the vote would come down, I think, that Zayd and Hannah I think would try to get everybody to vote off Zayd. But obviously last episode Jade heard about the jury threats, so I think she would know this and do the same thing, and Hannah would be like, oh, we need to vote Zayd. And they'd be like, no, we need to vote Hannah. We need to vote Hannah. And I think, unfortunately, even though she's my favorite character, what would happen is everyone would listen to Zayd because Hannah's a bigger jury threat, and Jade knows this, so she'd be able to axe Hannah. So that would lead with Hannah going home. And now we'd have fifth place. So now we'd have the episode where everyone is talking, the loser motel episode, and we'd be different just because of the fact Marissa and Zayd are not there. So we'd have the round table go, I'm pretty sure the exact same, and then Ivy and Tristan would talk, and Tristan and Benji would have their thing, and it would just not be interrupted by Zayd, and they'd be wholesome and all that. Ivy'd be super happy, yay, I love that, I'm so happy for you guys. And then we'd obviously get to the jury roundtable where these people would be the jury. And I think what would happen is, it's obviously different because they're voting to eliminate, not who they like, who they want to stay, I think changes things. But Benji is and Hannah's reunited with all her friends that would have voted for her. So Benji, I think, is announcing. Isabel's still probably saying to support the Jade, is telling people to vote Jade, just like in canon. So, and I think Benji would actually listen because Hannah's not in. So Benji's I'm gonna vote for Jade in the final 3. And then Richard probably says, I'm gonna vote for Logan in the final 3. So Jade and Logan obviously getting votes. Now, here's the thing. Natalia did curse out is Marissa when she got eliminated, so I think she'd also count as support for Jade, and that'd be 2 votes. And then Spencer's obviously going to support either Jade or Logan, but I think in Canada, who's more on Jade's side, so we're going to go with that. Isabel's obviously supporting Jade, so that's a 1 vote Jade, 4 votes Jade, 1 vote Logan. Anastasia, I think, is supporting Marissa, obviously, so 1 vote. And that would lead to, that would obviously lead to, what did I just do? I think everything's fine. Oh, wait, okay, I think I just put these, okay. Hannah would obviously vote, I think would support Logan, and, Amelie would support Logan. So in the end, Logan has 1, 2, 3 supporters. Jade has 1, 2, 3, 4. And Marissa has 1. And unfortunately, Jade doesn't have any, unfortunately. So that would lead to the end. And now we're going to go to the Final 4 challenge, which is bumper cars. And in the bumper car challenge, Anastasia isn't here to win, and Hannah isn't here to almost win. But I think, based on what we know about these characters, Marissa would be the best at this challenge. And so Marissa would end up winning immunity. And honestly, now Jade, obviously these characters are going to assume that Logan is the biggest jury threat. So Marissa and Jade probably team up and to vote for Logan. But I think that Jade wants to keep Logan to eliminate Marissa as her biggest competition in the jury. I think that's her strategy. So she says, let's vote for Zayd, because Marissa's immune, and they vote for Zayd. So we have the same tiebreaker we had before, and I think realistically, based on experience, Logan would win the tiebreaker, meaning Zayd and Marissa would say their goodbyes, because they made a good friendship in the past few episodes, and Zayd would wish Marissa luck in the finale, and Zayd would say goodbye and go home. And so we'd get to the final 3. And obviously, as I'm writing this, as I'm doing this video, these episodes have not aired yet. However, we can just go based on the fact of who would get the most jury votes. And obviously, as I said, everyone has support here. But I think Marissa is being screwed by the fact she was a returnee and so didn't get as much of a chance. And so, unfortunately, the earlier merge boots. So, unfortunately, that would mean Marissa goes home in 3rd place. And the finale is between Jade and Logan for the $1 million. So, very interesting. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Honestly, there were a few changes, not too many severe changes, because the final 2 was basically only Marissa over Anastasia, which you guys could say is better or worse, really up to you. And then Hannah got eliminated 1 episode earlier, and Zayd obviously got to make it a lot farther to the final 4. Those are the main changes. There weren't as many changes as I thought there'd be, but I think it's okay. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to never miss a single video. If you guys enjoyed this video, see you guys next time. Bye! Subscribe to my other channel, by the way. My main channel will be back on eventually.